This is our time, the main thing. At this hour, I'm Andrei Sinitsyn in the studio. Hello. In Kyiv, rescue operations have been completed at the site of one of the most horrific Russian strikes. Right now, rescuers are still clearing the debris of the building where an entire section collapsed after being hit. 23 people, including 4 children, were killed by Russia in the Ukrainian capital on Thursday night. These figures have been confirmed by Ukraine's Ministry of Internal Affairs. They also clarified that the bodies of some of the victims have not yet been identified. Another 8 people are still unaccounted for. Dozens of people were injured in the Russian shelling of Kyiv, and some of them are still in the hospital. A day of mourning has been declared in the capital today for the civilians killed by Russia. Our correspondent Andriy Dmytrenko is currently working in the Darnitsky district of Kyiv. He is on the line with us now. Andriy, welcome. Tell us in more detail what's happening now at the site of yesterday's Russian strike.
Hello. I am now at the site of the most brutal, the most savage attack on Kyiv from the night before last. Because out of the 23 people killed on August 28th, 22 of them were in this building, at this site, including many children. As you can see, literally half of the building is gone here. One entrance has been completely destroyed from the 1st to the 5th floor. According to the State Emergency Service, special commissions will still determine whether this building can be restored at all, even partially, or if it will be completely demolished. Right now, rescuers are helping local residents. The clearing of the rubble is still ongoing. There are many local residents around who are retrieving their belongings with bags. Honestly, it's a truly tragic scene, especially considering that many people couldn't be saved or were pulled out from under the rubble. And many belongings of those who are no longer with us are literally scattered around the area that's being cleared. Let me remind you, on the 28th, let's listen to what the rescuers have to say about this.
There are no more people under the rubble. At the moment, emergency recovery work is underway. That is, we continue to remove dangerous structures that could pose a threat to people's health and lives. Together with law enforcement, we are helping people safely get into their apartments. There are no more people under the rubble.
Let me remind you that the attack that happened the night before last, on August 28th, was one of the largest in recent times. After all, for a while, there was a kind of lull. But on August 28th, Russia struck the capital of Ukraine with drones, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and even Kinzhal missiles. Helping to make this situation public and to convey to the world the terrible consequences of these strikes was, among others, Ukraine's Deputy Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha, who was here yesterday and who informed the international community about what Russia had done. Let me remind you that on August 28th, Russia attacked all districts of Kyiv. 23 sites were affected, and not only residential buildings were attacked, but also a Ukrzaliznytsia train, the offices of 2 news websites, and importantly, international institutions such as the European Union representation. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Andriy. That was our correspondent Andriy Dmytrenko. He was reporting live from the site of the Russian strike in the Darnitsky district of Kyiv. Let me remind you that, according to the State Emergency Service, there are no more people trapped under the rubble. However, experts still need to determine the condition of the remaining part of the building and whether it can be restored. Russia must be held accountable for this strike on Kyiv and all other attacks on Ukraine and its citizens. This was stated by the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenskyy. He received a report from the Minister of Internal Affairs on the elimination of the consequences of the Russian attack. The head of the Ukrainian state once again emphasized, with its strikes on Ukraine, the Russian Federation's army also struck at all efforts to bring an end to the war unleashed by the Kremlin.
When, instead of diplomacy, Russia chooses ballistics, continues to upgrade Shahids for killing, and develops cooperation with entities like North Korea, it means the world must respond accordingly. We need strong sanctions, strong pressure, and decisive actions so that the killers do not feel they can act with impunity. Russia understands only strength, and showing strength is necessary right now. The United States, Europe, and the G20 countries possess this strength. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
Meanwhile, on Thursday night into Friday, Russia launched 68 drones at Ukraine. This was reported by the Air Force of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Ukrainian defenders neutralized 46 Russian drones. But there were also hits. They were recorded at several locations in the Donetsk and Dnipropetrovsk regions. Today, Ukraine honors the memory of the defenders who died for its freedom and independence. August 29th is associated with one of the most tragic episodes of the war unleashed by Russia against Ukraine. 11 years ago, Ukrainian defenders tried to break out of the encirclement near Ilovaisk in the Donetsk region. At that time, the Russians violated the agreements, and Ukrainian soldiers were shot as they passed through the so-called Green Corridor. The battle for Ukraine's right to exist has been ongoing since 2014. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy reminded today, since 2022, Ukrainians have been defending themselves and their country in a full-scale war.
This is an extremely long and difficult path of courage. And we do not forget those thanks to whom Ukraine endures. Eternal glory to everyone who stood up to defend Ukraine. Eternal memory to everyone who died fighting for Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
The 19th package of sanctions against the Russian Federation may include restrictions on energy, financial services, as well as secondary sanctions. This was stated by the head of European Union diplomacy, Kaja Kallas. According to her, financial and energy sanctions will be the most effective against the Kremlin. After all, Vladimir Putin mocks any peace efforts, Kallas noted. This topic will be the main subject for discussion at the informal meeting of EU foreign ministers and defense ministers, which will take place on August 29th to 30th in the capital of Denmark.
We are working on the next package of sanctions, and there are several options on the agenda. Undoubtedly, any restrictions related to energy, as well as all those secondary sanctions introduced by the Americans, will have the greatest impact on Russia. Measures in the field of financial services that can block Moscow's access to capital, which it so desperately needs, will also be effective.
Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.